My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my ranking of all 4 seasons of Barry from worst to best, and this video will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But I do have to say this, that I just finished watching season 4, but seasons 1, 2, and 3 I watched a year ago, so my thoughts aren't as fresh. I did go back and watch my past videos. I did look up everything on Wikipedia, so I still feel confident in this ranking, but I feel like I should give that disclaimer ahead of time. So if you're like, oh wow, you're not going as in depth as I thought you would, it's just because of that. So anyways, let's begin with the worst season, and unfortunately it's season 4. I really wanted this show to go out with a bang, and for the first 5 episodes, I thought it was going to. I loved everything that was happening. I loved how Noho Hank got paranoid and got Cristobal killed, and how much weight that had. I loved how Sally is trying to be a teacher, but she's not the best, and she goes to Sean Heddle and tries to impress her, but it becomes clear that she will never become successful in the way she wants to be. I love how Gene did the right thing at the end of season 3 and how it goes straight to his head and he just makes a big show of it, and it just shows how narcissistic he is. And then you've got everything with Barry in jail, which I thought was really well done. He's just truly unhinged. Sally sees him for like a couple minutes and tells him that he made her feel safe, and it just goes right to his head. He just becomes a complete psychopath. And he's willing to trade in information about the cartels to try to get out. And Noho Hank tries to get him killed, and this moment was just pitch perfect. I love episode 4 and how we see everybody's lives take a turn for the worst, and when we get that time jump, I was just like, oh my god. Like, what a brilliant decision. Barry's telling his son about the way he wishes to be viewed. Sally is acting every day of her life. They both technically get what they wanted, but they're completely miserable. And I was completely in, and then the last 3 episodes just didn't work for me. It does have a few moments, it's still well directed, but it felt very rushed and unearned, and everything it's trying to do with the unreliable narrator, with the false narrative, it doesn't seem consistent with the show's themes. So, like, I love what it's trying to do, but like for the last few episodes, it didn't work for me. I thought Noho Hank's death lacked any weight at all. I thought Sally was just given a really weird character arc where she has visions, and then all of a sudden she wants to be held accountable, and then she leaves Barry. Like, for that big of a character turn, you need a big moment, and we definitely didn't get that. I thought, what else can I even say? I don't know. It's just kind of bunch of stuff happening. Barry has really nothing to do, and it just left me feeling unsatisfied. It's still a good season. I still like it, but it was so close to greatness, and at the end it pulled back, and it's just fine. So, worst season is season 4. And I'm going to be honest, the next 3 seasons are actually so incredibly close in quality, but my third favorite season is season 2. Now we do got the brilliant moment where Sally, Barry, and her ex are out for dinner, and he says, wait, what was your name again? And then it cuts to the title card. Just perfection. I love everything with Sally's ex and how she forces Barry to act in a similar manner, and how that just gets him to tap into something he doesn't want to tap into, and that makes for some compelling character work. It's like she's making his mental condition worse without realizing it. And I do like how Sally ends up becoming successful because of how she changes her story. And I'm realizing now that the false narrative thing, yeah, it's present in the early seasons, but not to that extent. I still like what they're doing here, but it's different than what they were building up to in season 4. But anyways, I thought everything with Sally was excellent. I love Barry's flashbacks where we think he might be traumatized after killing someone, but then he gets celebrated. That makes for some great character work, and I thought everything with Jean and Barry was really well done. And when Jean finds out the truth, it has a lot of weight. And Barry's rampage at the end against the people he's trained is so fantastic. I also like how Jean's trying to reconnect with his son. And, okay, I'm going to contradict my self here because, well, not contradict, backtrack, I guess. I did not like Ron Nee Lily when I first watched it because I was so invested in everything, but looking back now, I actually do really like this episode. It's really different and really out there, but it's really sat well with me. So yeah, season 2 is great. Yeah, it's the second last, but I swear, I still really like it. My second favorite season is season 1, and I just love this premise of a hitman who's forced to open up emotionally in order to act, and how that just sets him on this path. And I think it's very compelling. You got yourself some great character moments here. Like Sally and him kind of start a relationship, but then he becomes way too clingy, way too fast, and it's really uncomfortable. There was that one friend who tags along and he ends up killing, and then when Janice finds out the truth at the end and he kills her, I thought that had so much weight. A really fantastic ending. It's very well that you've got a couple like Barry and Sally and you actively root against them because they're so despicable for each other. I do like Jean and Janice and how it kind of starts off as a joke, but then it becomes more sincere. The humor really works for me here. The fight against violence. Webster Dictionary defines death as, and then whenever Fuchs picks up a phone pretending to be someone else, it's got it introduces these characters, the story incredibly well. The humor is great. It's just a great season of television. But my favorite season is season 3. Barry is just an unhinged psychopath, and for a little bit at the start of the show, you kind of want the best for him. He's a flawed protagonist, but here he's just despicable. He's legitimately abusive towards Sarah, and that has a lot of weight behind it. And then when he gets told that he should open up, and he's trying to comfort Sally, and he says what he's going to do is sneak into that girl's house and slowly just try to make her think she's crazy, and you're just like, it's just a scene that takes a really dark tone. And I love everything with Sally, how she feels like she just can't get a break, and she's in this terrible relationship, and by the end of this season, she ends up killing a guy, and it has real emotion and real weight behind it. I thought everything with Jean and trying to get Barry to stay away from him was really great. And it's incredibly well directed. There was one car chase in particular that really impressed me. I think, I just feel like this season is when the characters just reach their breaking points, and it makes for some of the best writing. And the ending, well, Jean backstabs Barry is amazing. One of the best moments, if not the best, of the show. I thought it had some real emotion in it as Barry just truly hates himself, but he doesn't change. I thought the writing was great. It's funny. It's got great action. This season, oh, and of course everything with NoHo Hank and Cristobal is really good. So yeah, everything about this season really works for me, and that's why it's my favorite. But what's your ranking of these seasons? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon, and Gavin out.